Becky Stone. I run Abberton Rural Training. Abberton Rural Training provide education in rural skills for people who are more removed from the standard education market. Being outdoors and being in touch with nature is so important for so many people, as well as the needs in the rural community. We're 72% rural in Essex and 92% in certain parts of North Essex. We run a variety of land-based skills, including woodlands, land, animal care, horticulture, and construction and carpentry. We take referrals from across North Essex, including directly from job centres, mental health practitioners, from homeless shelters, drug and alcohol centres, and all sorts of different community groups and charities, and people can also self-refer. We have 3 programmes that we run currently, one for over 19s, which is very broad land-based studies, and they can concentrate on either the construction or the horticulture side on that. We have an over 45s group, which includes the woodlands, horticulture, construction and carpentry, and we also do a programme for Rustic Recovery, which is for wounded and injured service personnel and veterans. We've been very lucky with the staff that we've got, and I'm delighted with the amount of expertise that we have. We managed to get a number of experienced staff who already worked in different charities and community groups with vulnerable people. We also have counsellors on staff who are there to deal with all sorts of issues as they arise. If there's a certain aspect of their life that's causing them difficulty on a particular day, they've even been there to prevent and help people who are suicidal. We also have a really good group of volunteers who mainly are past participants. They've already had the experience of going through the process themselves, and that gives so much to new participants coming on board. So the volunteers give an awful lot to the programme, but they also gain a lot by being part of a continued team. They build their self-esteem and confidence and realise that they actually do have a worthwhile future. We use as much as possible the produce that we grow on our site to actually feed our participants as well. 2 of the students have it on a rota basis to go into the kitchen and prepare a lunch. That gives them a lot of extra skills to be able to learn how to feed themselves on a very tight budget and also to eat healthily. By also getting them together at lunchtime, it also builds their social skills. It helps them to communicate, share stories, and actually open up in a number of different ways over the lunch table. We give an awful lot back as well, though, to the rural environment, to the local village, and also the other organisations we work with, such as Essex Wildlife Trust and the Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. We give a lot in terms of creating new wildlife habitats, from bug hotels, bird houses, bat boxes, hedgehog boxes, etc. We've improved habitat for nightingales. We've returned a heathland actually to heath, which was being overtaken by trees, by coppicing, and removed cherry laurel, which is an invasive species, causing a lot of devastation to some of the local woods and allowing the natural trees to flourish instead. We've got a range of sites across North Essex. Our main base at Wormingford, which provides us with land for horticulture, woodlands, and the carpentry and construction courses. But we also have a lake and woodlands at Housestead near Braintree. We've got a goat farm just outside of Bures on the Essex border, and different woodlands, Friday Woods and military land, as well as land operated by Essex Wildlife Trust. We run participant forums to really understand what our participants are also looking for. We're constantly evolving, we're not complacent in what we offer, but need to keep learning and understanding what the needs are out there. So we have various input from other organisations, employers, from other education establishments, looking at what courses are available, but mainly listening to our participant and their needs. We were invited to discuss with one of the MOD representatives an opportunity to become involved with the Personnel Recovery Centre at the Colchester Garrison for wounded and injured sick personnel and veterans.
Rustic Recovery was the concept of supporting what we do as a core function. We provide 4 courses that assist long-term wounded, injured and sick service personnel to return to work. We decided the reconnection with the countryside, learning some rural skills which could be used in a a vocational manner, or just as a hobby or pastime manner. Engaging in projects in small groups, having a laugh, prodding some embers, boiling a kettle over a fire, and all that associated sort of stuff was the foundation of well-being and a positive mental attitude that we wanted to support our core function. I think the real significant stick in your mind people that have benefited from Rustic Recovery are those that have really, for want of a better word, had to have been crowbarred out of their house through severe anxiety, real quite personal dilemmas of socialisation due to physical or mental health injury, or a combination of both. And those that then towards mid or end of the Rustic Recovery Week are actually looking forward to engaging something in a positive nature, being part of that team again, and generally being able to take on what's ahead of them in an uncertain future as, what can you say, a challenge, as opposed to what could have been perceived earlier to them before Rustic Recovery, an absolute nightmare.
We were able to step in quite quickly, actually, raise the funds that were required and get a programme up and running and in action very quickly. That includes visiting our goat farm, doing animal care, and there's nothing that a baby goat can't fix, to doing woodlands, construction, horticulture and dairy farming. So they learn a lot of really valuable skills to take them forward in possible different rural careers. Of the wounded and injured service personnel have physical disabilities, half have PTSD and other mental health issues. But even the physically disabled, half of those again also suffer from PTSD as a secondary issue. So getting out in the open air, doing things physically, being able to become part of a team again really improves their mental health.
I've really been enjoying it so far. I'm starting to get used to how everything runs here, and so far I'm really enjoying it. At the moment I'm making a bookcase to take home with me, to start to put books on, because I've got quite a few books at home that I can put on the bookcase that I'm making. Now that I'm doing this, it could potentially help me lead into more learning or a job relating to something that has carpentry linked to it.
Tom's one of our latest new students who has different learning needs and has fitted in so well. The students come to us really not knowing what to expect and have a variety of barriers to overcome, but they really get stuck in and start enjoying making things and suddenly discovering that they are capable. We recently held a celebration event for our students, and Ben was one of the students who very bravely stood up to speak to a really large crowd of about 100 people, and it was his first time he'd ever spoken.
My name's Ben, I'm 20, and during school that's probably one of the hardest times I've probably had to deal with, because my confidence was absolutely at an all-time low, because kind of like, come here and this is an amazing place, because this is where I've met a hell of a lot of great people. The staff are amazing, who've helped me kind of develop in that, and they're all amazing. I can't name everyone, so I'll probably forget someone, and I honestly don't want to do that. And this place, with that other, the stewarding, has kind of given me more confidence to do like this and just be around other people. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone here who's helped me.
Another student who spoke at the event was Mac, who was part of our Wounded and Injured Service Personnel Programme, the Rustic Recovery. He was really at a junction in his life when we first met him, and he spoke very openly about his issues and his challenges, and the fact that without us, he probably wouldn't be here today.
But after 10 years of battling on my own, it became apparent I couldn't soldier anymore. So occupational health said he can't soldier anymore, and I was devastated, absolutely devastated. So the following 6 months I tried to reinvest into City Street, etc. I tried to get by, but it became apparent I didn't fit anymore, and I'll be brutally honest with you, it was really tough times. So one of the days you have to go up to Friday Woods to do some coppicing, land management into the woods. and that is a fantastic, fantastic day. You go up there, you set up a little stew, you all gather around, and on this course is people from across the army who are wounded, injured or sick soldiers, okay? And a lot of them are quite angry, and I was bitter, scared, lonely, all that kind of thing. And again, just capitalise on what Phil said, it's magic. When you put these people together, it took all of an hour before people, once you're doing things with your hands and you're learning, all your barriers, your initial barriers are sort of pulled right down, and you become quite vulnerable in a beautiful way. But you're being supported by people who also don't want to be labelled by their illness, injury or sickness. I was lonely and scared, embarrassed and ashamed. That's the truth of the matter. And the phrase I kept using was, it doesn't matter what or how I feel, all it matters is what I can do for people. That's exactly it. And it was quite a frosty encounter as we first met, which is not the case anymore. So towards the end of that day, we learned about biophilia, which is basically being in the outdoors. And it's a beautiful thing you learn up at the Shabazz houses by being out in the green, blood pumping around your body, what it achieves. And that night, I had the first pucker night's sleep I've ever had in over a decade. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It was a beautiful night's sleep. And that's
Last year we achieved an 85% success ratio for moving our students either into education, employment, volunteering or other activities. We're supported by Essex County Council, who have described us as unique in Essex and probably across the country. We're also supported with other district and borough councils, including Morden and Colchester particularly, and other authorities such as the police, the Department of Work and Pensions, and other charities and community groups. So we're always looking at new opportunities though to build further. We're currently working with another couple of partner organisations to expand into Kent and East Sussex to cover more of the Sellet region, and also the Wounded and Injured Service Personnel Programme, now it's been piloted for the Colchester Garrison, is actually being looked at across the UK for the different personnel recovery centres in different parts of the country. Winning the regional award has already given so much input. We've had contact from organisations we've never heard of, from seeing the publicity in terms of the regional award. So to win the national award would just be absolutely fantastic. We have such a dedicated staff, volunteers and participants who all pull together to really get the most out of their learning. And I think if we were successful in winning the award, it would give an accolade for all of them to really see how worthwhile their work is. It would also certainly increase our opportunity for more funding and further work to help more people do what we need to do.
in total, in a nutshell, I've gone from being somebody who had a lot to give, nowhere to put it, no friends, no family, and no army anymore, devastated, really sad, and it got to an all-time low, guys. I mean, an all-time low, and I had nothing. And for me, using common sense alone, I figured it was better off me sort of just cashing my chips in and saying not for me anymore, because all my hard graft was nowhere, and I had nothing. But between Jackie, Wayne, Rob, John, and everybody else from this package, the Stomaries, the guys that come on the Wednesday, they've given me a massive light on. And the moving forward part for me is I'm now going to become a counsellor / tutor mentor. We're still talk about that, you and I, and how I'm going to facilitate that I don't know yet, but it all comes from here. And without this place, I wouldn't be alive. Like I say, from the bottom of my heart, I wouldn't be alive. So I'll keep it short and sweet, and we'll leave it there.